back, everybody. Hello, everybody. We're here again. We're at over the weekend. I think we're on episode 12. However, we say 112 because it's season 1, episode 12. And we're trying to get as close to the solar eclipse as possible because we have somebody that actually celebrates a birthday on that date. And I want to talk about everything that's coming up in the future with her. Essentially, we have one other great Toronto DJ that actually comes to the city, plays music all around. Actually moved out to the GTA area just to get a little bit more quiet. However, when she wants to fucking get the good beats going, you know where to go. So, but without further ado, I have Nostalgics. Nostalgia! Da-da-da-da-da-da! Hi.
Hello!
Now tell me how you are doing. We kind of already spoke earlier.
Yeah.
However, we didn't get the audience say, what did you do over the last 7 days?
That's a good question. I mean, beyond, the day-to-day work grind, I really try to find time to produce. That's like a main outlet for me. Self-expression, creative expression, and also propelling forward in my music journey as well. So that's a lot of time. I'm spending a lot of time doing that on my leisurely time.
How long have you been actually spinning music?
Oh, like DJ-wise, 5 years, I would say that would be like encompassing of like the seriousness of it. But like, I feel like it's been longer in terms of just like messing around, getting a feel of your sound and kind of self-expression, if you will. Yeah.
So what would you say your like sound is or your expression is?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Or the genre?
Well, that's great that you asked that. I love all genres of music, to be honest. I really have gone through phases from like rock, hip-hop, and then when I go to electronic music, like dubstep, drum and bass, electro. So, but like techno is, I would say, the main genre, and then there's like subgenres within it. And I do like to dabble into different genres as well when it reflects my music. So I would say techno is like the main genre, but expect like different elements of different sounds in there as well.
In Toronto, there's like a lot of people play and listen and do techno, which is understandable because it's the city, right?
Yeah, it's massive.
However, if you say that you meld the two things together, you create something new. So does that mean you also make a little bit of your actual full-out personal tracks, like producing, essentially?
Oh yeah, that's where I'm at now. I started off DJing, and then producing is like the next step for me, and I've been expressing myself in music. I'm playing out my music now, and I do have releases coming up in terms of my EP. But it's fairly new, the production process. I've been doing it about a year now, just a little bit over, yeah.
What frustrates you the most?
Producing! Yeah, I think when you want to express yourself, but you can't quite tap into it. And I think when that happens, you need to kind of take a break and not put pressure and force it. I think it's a very organic process where you should do it when you truly want to, but also keep on a schedule because you don't want to create something and just sitting in the back burner. Like even myself, when I first started out, it was like creating a lot of things and then I'm like, okay, well, on to the next one, right? Because I get bored or it's not going the direction I want to. So kind of being expressive when you want to be, but also keeping a regimen and a schedule is important as well. Yeah.
So you say you have a schedule. What is the schedule?
Right now, I would say I try to devote at least a couple hours, every
day or a weekend?
Week right now, I would say. It's hard to find time with everything, but on a daily basis, I'll at least listen to my music and check in and see okay, this is what I would change in this track. So the production process, sitting down and zoning in, I would say couple hours, and then if I go to a rabbit hole, which is
doing something completely
it's a whole weekend. But I try because it's trying to find that balance as well with your regular daily life and then producing, so yeah.
I'd say so at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely.
So for artists, usually the writer's block, we do the same thing. We walk away for a little bit, come back, essentially. Yeah. So when you say you walk away and come back, it truly works.
It does.
100%.
Yeah, just going out for a walk. Nature helps, clarity. Having a clear mind, and I would say I like to just go for a walk and then immerse myself in something different. Get inspired by other artists, maybe going to a show and then getting inspired, things like that. Collaborating as well. That's been really helping me a lot. Getting some vibes and sounds from other artists as well, and kind of be okay, here we go. We'll get back into it.
We'll back into it, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
So my question then, after all that, would be, where did you start, like the very beginning. Try to put some, I guess, put a little bit of information in on how you did it, broke through, I guess you can say. Who was the first person that was like, this is a deck?
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, to be honest, it started further than that. Like, I'm gonna give like a little bit of touch, like, of different timelines, because it's weird. It almost feels like it was part of my life very early on. So I really would say I used to listen to electronic music with like Eiffel 65.
Yeah.
I would say like Robin S, like early house music as well. Aqua, like even that. So I used to like have little dance parties in my parents' living room. That was kind of like, I guess, if you will, where I kind of was maybe enjoying the sound and like, you know, loving it. But then I would say the dive into electronic music per se happened at Government nightclub. So that was a really core part of me experiencing that. Before that, I was into more, I would say, going to clubs, and like I just didn't ever really feel like that was something I liked to do. It's like I did it, but I feel like it drained me. It didn't feel like it was exciting to me. So when I ended up going to Gov after a series of events, I fell in love with the scene. It was beautiful because you just saw people truly there for the music, connections, Plur, if you will. That was the time, trading candy and all that stuff. I got really into that.
They still kind of do that in the right place.
Yeah.
Like, in America, you see like the candy thing still happening.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think Canada doesn't catch that information
exactly.
as much. Like, it doesn't come across the border, I guess. Or
yeah.
Like, but you do definitely see it.
You do see it pop up, and but it really shaped me. I mean, those moments. And then kind of finding my way through the electronic music scene, early comfort zone, like, you know, where it was kind of more underground. That Hoxton was a part. So I kind of started discovering, hey, like, I like electronic music, but I don't quite know what exactly, like, so I went into, like I mentioned, dubstep, like, every, like, type of space, really, with music. I love tech house, and I still love all these genres, but then techno really, I would say that when I tapped into techno was going to Detroit for Movement, and that was...
I've seen those photos on Instagram as well.
Yeah, I went last year. The first time, I believe, was 2017, and it was, like, it just felt like, I don't know, it felt like it spoke to me, and it was very powerful, and I'm like, I love this. So that was when it came into like enjoying it, but then DJing. Yeah,
Did you mean the festival spoke to you, or the people spoke to you,
That's
or
a good question. Everything. It's
yeah,
like
and
you
as a
feel
whole.
like it. Yeah, you feel like it's ingrained into Detroit. Like you feel like the techno city. Like you walk around during Memorial Day weekend, and it's everywhere. You know, and you talk to people like, and they've been doing this for years. It's like a part of their culture. Families going there, bringing their kids, and it's like, exactly. Wow, like, you know, this is a total immersive experience. So it really woke me up to techno specifically, you know.
So what would you say, like, the misconceptions of the electronic music scene is? Somebody from the outskirts that would hear something or say something, and they would assume that's what it is. That's fact, but then they get in and
I mean. It depends the way you look at it, per se. Of course, there's always going to be people that believe it's about substance use and about partying and about just getting trashed. But, like, there is true music lovers there. And, of course, there's a small demographic of people in every scene, in every subculture that, you know, paints that picture. Yeah, right? And it's not about that. There's so much beauty to the scene. And you meet people with these true connections. And the way I see it is kind of almost like a spiritual nature to the electronic music scene, because people are connecting through music. Everyone is on their own vibe, but they're having experiences that shape them, and they're connecting to each other. So it's really, I think that's the thing, that when people actually go to electronic music events, they connect with people and like, wow, these people they love the music, they love this is part of them. So I think it's like you have to experience to understand what it truly means to them.
So essentially, in order for somebody to truly know, they need to go.
Yeah.
I have to say.
And it's not just about substance use. There's plenty of people out there who are sober, ravers, if you will, whatever you want to define them as being. So it's definitely not just about that.
Is there a good, like, starting point that somebody should do? Whether it is, like, in the city of Toronto or in North America in general?
I would say find the collectives that speak to you. You know, there's so many collectives in Toronto, and finding out, like, what kind of your expression is and connecting people who have the same mindset, I think that's the first start to it. Or just, like, honestly, just go out there and discover. Like, I went to events by myself starting out. I didn't care about, you know, like if someone's gonna judge me or whatever, or I wasn't scared. I wanted to experience it, and then so I just started pushing myself and going. And and it helped me define like what I enjoyed about it. You know? Yeah.
You do a lot of things like solo. I noticed, like you did solo traveling, solo DJing, solo actually going to clubs. So what do you think the difference is between going solo and going with people?
You can have your own personal experience, like your own. You can kind of shape it, right? And there's obviously good things. I also enjoy like going on groups and stuff like that. But in terms of solo, I learned a lot about myself. That's kind of like what I feel like, and that's why I enjoy it. It's like you're not having expectations. You can do what you want to do and experience the way you want to experience it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then after it's all done, basically you can tell everybody the same story. They love the story.
Yeah.
And then you tell them, well, maybe next time you won't come.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing for me. Even when I go in groups, I'll still kind of go on my own adventure at a certain point of self-discovery.
Side quest.
Yeah, side quests if you will.
I remember that happens all the time when I go to Shambhala, like any festival really in general.
Festival, hey.
Oh, buddy, like 5 years this year on their 25th. It's gonna be a party.
I have never been, but I've been to Electric Forest, which I heard is similar.
Yeah, which is definitely similar. I've been 2016, 2017 to Electric Forest, and then after that, it's like so expensive now.
Oh yeah, like everything else, right? Unfortunately, wow.
And that's why I like going to Shambhala to work as well.
Oh,
I,
cool.
I work there and I do my
Really? I didn't know that. Amazing.
Yeah, it's cool. Like, there's a restaurant that I hang out at,
Cool.
basically, if anybody wants to see me there.
I love that. Yeah.
That's what I do basically every year, and then I go and I party at the same time.
Cool.
So cool.
That's the both worlds, right? Yeah.
Exactly. I enjoy doing it, but again, I enjoy doing it because I do it with friends.
Yeah.
And the vibe is similarly the same as Detroit, as in you're going because the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Like, I go there and I say, you're not there. You're there for the music, but you're really there for everything else.
Oh yeah, it's like an immersive experience. Exactly. You come out as a different person, I feel like, with these type of festivals.
Especially when you like travel to them too. It's like it's like the journey, you know?
Yeah.
The destination's cool for sure.
Yeah.
But
it's getting there that's also very exciting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're time with your boys.
Yep.
Drinking, hanging
I love it.
And then 9 hours later you're finally at the festival.
Yeah, I love it. And then you camp too. So that's also, there's always like after parties, and they're like really into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The question now, I guess we can continue with like traveling, I guess.
Yeah.
What was the last place you've been?
The last place I've been, beyond Montreal, I was there last week.
Yeah, Montreal.
I was there last week. I went to Stereo, very close to my heart as well. And I was there supporting my mentor as well. He was spinning Aatrox, and then Tanpot, which is actually... Yeah, they're amazing, and they were the first DJ I saw at Stereo, so it was kind of, like, I love going there. The weather was horrible. It was snowing a lot, but it was good. I love going to Stereo.
Wow, last week it was snowing?
I know! Gosh. I'm over it. I'm like, well, you're traveling yourself, so to warm climates.
Yeah, exactly, and everything else. I used to live in Montreal for 10 years,
really?
so that's why I'm like,
yeah,
I know exactly how the weather is. That's why I'm like, get out of here. No way.
I love that. Beyond that, I went to Lisbon as well. That was cool. Like, it was kind of like I don't know, just like very improv. I'm like, okay, let's go somewhere. And then Lisbon was like on the list, and it was amazing. So that was not, I would say, hot climate or anything like that, but it was cool. I checked out the scene there, which I do enjoy doing as well.
How about food?
Oh, yeah. I love seafood.
See everything.
Yeah.
That's their like main is seafood, or is it your main is seafood?
Both, because I was vegetarian for a few times through my life. I love seafood, but I will like anything shrimp and all that stuff. I'll eat every day.
Yeah, no matter what.
Yeah.
I guess that's just because, or do you have like a reason why?
Vegetarian?
Yeah.
I think at the time it was kind of like being more aware of my like choices. I also was vegetarian. And I still try to think about that, like what I'm eating when I put in my body. And I just feel like for me, it made me feel a lot healthier. It felt like a detox of a lot of other things. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes that red meat, I don't know what you can do about that.
I love a good steak, yeah. Oh yeah. I guess
it's like a AAA Alberta beef.
Ooh, yeah. I love that. Very specific.
Yeah, that's always a word, you know? But, essentially, that's how that works when it comes to your life in a nutshell, then.
Yeah, you encompass it free. I would say, like, it's a very well-rounded. I gotta say, like, with electronic music, it it shaped me a lot. It's like crazy to think that, and I hope that, you know, others have that experience, because it's so beautiful when you're so connected to something. And the journey, like starting off with being on the dance floor, and I still love being on the dance floor, to creating and giving back, it's like a very rewarding. It's a soul fulfilling thing.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, it was just like, yes, I'm happy that there's people here. I'm happy that I'm here.
It's amazing.
They're doing their own thing.
Yeah.
I truly think that everybody receives that at the same time as well. It's sort of like a zing.
Yeah.
Once you decide that, okay, this is like what I want to do.
Yeah.
And hang out and be with people, then
it's a passion, right? It's like, it's a beautiful experience. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
But allow me to check the cameras.
Okay.
No way, we're on a break.
Oh, cool.
This is a cut. This is a cut here. Usually I do this because the cameras should be fine by themselves. Like this one's fine.
Okay, cool.
That one's fine. And this one's not fine. Look at that. Perfect.
Oh, it's good to check.
Yeah, it's always good to check.
Yeah.
I made that mistake already too many times. Until I get 3 of these.
Oh wow.
Yeah, until I get 3 of these, I have to like look. My buddy, he's a videographer, so he handles cameras and shit. But he told me, he's like, dude, just buy phones.
Yeah.
They're small. And I was like,
right.
You're right, they're small, but this just looks better.
Well, the quality from what I heard, because I started taking even my promo shots with like my Android phone, and it's actually very, very like good quality. Obviously, it's not going to be as good quality as like a camera like that, but it's still very like comparable. Right? Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, you know what, this thing should work, should be fine. It's gonna die soon, actually, so maybe I should replace the battery.
Sure. Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah, I'll do that real quick. I gotta remove it though. Okay, let me pause this one then.
Yeah, sounds good. I like the.
You're actually talking about your past, you're talking about what you did, you're talking about the city of Toronto.
Oh, yeah.
And then from there, the city of Toronto in raving style.
Oh, yeah.
The little misconceptions.
Yeah.
However, what are we doing after all that? So, going from present to future.
Yeah.
What do you have in store for the people coming up? I hear maybe there's more music, maybe there's a collection of songs.
Yeah, well, you got it. Well, yeah, so in terms of Loma Crane music, thankfully, I got signed by 2 labels, so I have 2 EPs coming out as well, which is exciting.
What are the labels?
So Red Channel and also Aerotech. Yeah,
all
so we have US and then also Montreal, so that's pretty awesome. I mean, I can't complain, and they're great labels that really express, and I would say they touch where I'm going to go as well. Like they really entail my sound. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Is there like a person that a lot of people would know that is a part of one of these 2 corporations, I guess you can say?
I would say Tony. Yeah, he's like a pretty big artist. I would say for me, I used to love to listen to music, even before I started DJing. So like that's really cool. Like working with him, and the fact that like my music is at that level to even get signed, it's very rewarding. Like I mean, I feel like the journey itself, you never expect these things, but when it happens, it's like wow, you know, the work and the persistence, it really does play off. Yeah. So
are you saying that there's like a chance that you can be in America, and there's a chance that you'll do a set there? Yeah, that would be cool. Well, actually, I mean, in terms of like recently since I had my EP, I actually played in the US before. I played in Detroit and New York before. Oh, absolutely. So tell me more about that. It's cool. I mean, I feel like it was like when I was in Detroit last year, I connected with they're doing kind of like, it was more of like an open deaf experience, and I got to meet a lot of like locals, and I got to be on the lineup that night, so it was good. Other than being very exhausted from the festival, I did it like the week after. It was cool. I got to kind of touch into the Detroit style, which I like to do that as well when it comes to techno. There's definitely different sounds, so my set really did play into that as well. Yeah. So let's say, like, try to explain to me like on 5 the difference between techno and Detroit techno. Yeah, I mean, it's the source of it, right? It has a very, I would say the bass line and the BPM is a little bit lower. And I would say it's just like, it has this like rolling bass line that you can dance to. I feel like also the vocalist, it has almost like a soulful sound to it as well, right? So I would say it encompasses like Detroit in itself. And it's still very much alive. But of course, there's different genres of techno that has arisen. But when you hear, you'll know. It's just like that
that groove, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly, that groove.
Yeah.
You gotta do this regardless.
Yeah. It's a beautiful experience, and what I like about Movement Festival, they still really support, and they do put focus on the originators of like Detroit techno. So you still have that very much thriving over there.
Have you ever been to any other place that has like a lot of house music or vibes, a lot of house music? Because there's Detroit, there's Toronto, we got Chicago, of course.
I haven't been to Chicago. I want to. When I went to Portugal, they do have a very thriving scene is there as well. In terms of like the house and techno as well. So I went there, experienced some electronic music fans, and also went to like some record shops and checked that out as well. And there was actually a record shop that was having electronic music events. So it was best of both worlds, really.
What would be like the go-to if you're saying you're in the city and you wanted to go to watch a good techno track? Yeah.
Wow.
It's a good techno night.
Many. I mean, it depends, right? Like I feel like it's like day by day. I would say like a really cool event series right now that's happening is that supermarket in Kensington. Oh. I actually played there. They're doing ongoingly events, I think Wednesdays and Thursdays. And I really like it. Like it's really cool. They're really supporting the local scene. And I would say there's so much different types of techno that is being played there, so you can't really go wrong. So yeah, I would say that's something that I discovered. I think they started having events in August, and they're definitely growing. It's a really cool event series, yeah.
I guess it used to be probably like a lounge or something like that beforehand, or
it's like
were they playing something else before?
Yeah, I think it's like a bar setting, but they have a really cool dance floor area where it's just like, it looks like a warehouse, if you will.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of get immersed into it during the week.
It's like,
yeah, I like that. Glasses on, you know?
yeah, glasses inside. Glasses inside.
Always, right?
Like, it's such a... God damn it, man.
It's a vibe. Okay.
At this point, so there was a person that we had on the podcast earlier that went through the glasses phase.
Yeah.
Where he's like, I gotta wear glasses at any point in time.
Yeah.
And at one point he said, I can't hear you because I don't have my glasses all at
Yeah, I get that.
I can't hear what you're saying.
It helps you focus.
Like,
you know what it is? It's probably the sensory thing. When I even think about like some events, there's so much lighting, right? It's like, it's overwhelming. It's like lasers, this and that, the projections, like, you know, the screen behind the DJs, all that stuff. It's a lot. So sometimes like to actually focus and like immerse yourself in the music, sometimes you might need to put like glasses on or something. So that's the way I see it. I totally get that as well.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
just to make sure that you're, you know, I guess you can say, not let's say stand out now, because a lot of people actually do wear the sunglasses inside. Yeah. But it could be in one or two things, basically.
That's true.
As well.
Also kind of looks cool, like, you know, it's mysterious.
Yeah, so then, my question then is, what would be like an outfit, I guess you could say? Can you describe what an outfit would be if you're at a rave, as a girl and as a guy?
That's a good question. I mean, well, techno, it's like, you know, you're gonna be wearing black. I think that's kind of like a universal thing. I'm guilty for that. Like, I wear, like, even today, I'm wearing all black. I can't even escape that.
I try to, like, strand out of the box all the time.
Yeah, love it, by the way. I like it. Yeah, for girls, I mean, honestly, okay, so I came from, I guess, really early club years of wearing heels and stuff like that. I highly suggest for women, if you want to go with longevity of the night, maybe not wearing heels, like comfortable shoes. I mean, go off and wear your heels, but it's not like, you know, standing for a long period of time, you're shuffling, if you're dancing, it's probably gonna hurt your feet, it looks cute, but
shuffling with heels on?
I mean, there's women that do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that, I mean, really, when you want to stretch yourself wearing, I think there's so much cool rave outfits, right? Like, I've seen some really cool expression through clothing, so I don't want to say, like, anything specific what people should wear, but comfort, I think that's...
Yeah, comfort.
Really,
comfort, but also a bit stylish.
Yeah.
A little bit gangsta.
Yeah, exactly. Express yourself, right? It's one of the few places that you can wear whatever you want to wear, not get judged. Like, you know, whether you want to wear pasties, whatever you want to be in, like, full, like, hoodie and covered up, and, like, you know, it's really an area where you can just be yourself. So that's what I like about it. And then for the men, like, similar. I mean, I would say that, like, you know, there's a lot of cool expression for women and men, but like I think it's really your own self-expression, what you want to feel like wearing and being comfortable while doing, and cool, because you might get hot from dancing forward.
We were saying it earlier, we're like, even DJing, I don't think I've ever seen a DJ wear a sweater.
Yeah, it's true, right? Like a full
like,
get-up, yeah. Like it's gonna be like, you're gonna be drenched. Like you underestimate how much heat comes to the crowd and the lighting and everything, right? So yeah, it's really like comfortable. I think that's the main thing for sure, yeah.
Does the genre change the type of music? Oh, sorry, does it change the type of clothing that somebody would wear? Because you say techno, and I know already techno too is black. However, there's obviously way more than that out there.
Yeah, I think like psytrance is another one.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah. That was another, I actually listened to psytrance. I went to like psytrance festival. I would say it's a little, I don't want to like group, but like more hippie-ish, free-floating clothing. I think that's something you see more of in psytrance. So I just feel like, yeah, maybe there's like vaguely, but then I think I think a lot of people just like, they want to wear what they want to wear. It's like, hey, it's an opportunity to do that. You're in a day-to-day office setting and you're like corporate, whatever. Hey, on the weekends, you want to wear what you want to wear and be who you really want to be. So you might be wearing like, you know, fishnets and like pasties and like do you, and I think it's so cool, right? That you have that ability to do that and without judgment, and that's what I love about the scene. Yeah.
I love being able to do anything I want as well. Because, like just being there, it feels like when I'm at a festival or at a nightclub or anything. There's no today, there's no tomorrow, there's no yesterday.
Yeah,
like you're in the now, and being in the now is kind of what people want to do.
Exactly.
A lot of the time, they just want to be themselves. They want to express themselves, and that's a lot of things that people can't do because we were actually speaking at it earlier off camera about the whole world that some people want to just put people into a box or say you can only do this, you can't do that. Right? So it makes it hard to do and say what you want to say.
Yeah, and that's like my point too. Is even though there's like different genres, I think people shouldn't limit themselves on what they listen to and what they wear to different events, because I feel like, hey, there's such a world out there to express yourself and you can tap into anything. So I don't think limiting yourself even to genres. I think that you should just, what you feel like on a soul level, do it, Yeah.
What do you feel like doing on a soul level?
Oh man, I would love to like travel more.
Absolutely.
Just like kind of disappear. What I would love to do in a solo is just kind of disappear for a period of time, like in some sort of beautiful place and just produce and make a lot of music. And then come back and like immerse myself back into normal life.
Yeah, exactly. Get back to reality.
Yeah,
they do say that I think it takes about 3 weeks for you to be on a trip in order for your brain to like rewire. That could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's like a thing.
That makes sense.
You start to become a different person. You start to kind of become where you are, lack of better words.
Oh yeah.
And obviously you see the world at a different angle, 100% different angle than wherever you were for your whole life, basically.
That's true. That's why I like backpacking. You get more time to immerse yourself into the culture and you really feel part of it. Versus like, okay, a very short trip where you're like, you experience it like when you immerse yourself, it does take a bit more time. So I totally agree with that.
And it makes it easier to learn a language too.
That's right. True. Yeah, it takes a bit of time to practice that and engage with people, right? For sure.
I've also always heard there's a person here and there that's actually kind of crazy, and they say, I've never actually left Toronto.
Really?
I've never actually left the province.
Wow.
So my question for you is, what would you try to tell them? What would you tell them after you heard that? Oh, I've only lived in this city my whole life, and I'm, let's say, like, they're 30 years old.
The cool thing about Toronto is I feel like you get a lot of different cultures in one place. So let's say this person, they like to go to certain restaurants or certain places in the city. Hey, maybe find a place that kind of makes you feel like you would like to travel there and choose that place and then go and experience it, because obviously like traveling for the first time is maybe a little bit difficult to know where you want to go, but if you're already, you're kind of like knowing where you want to go in Toronto in terms of like the cultures that you're attracted to or like the places, you can actually probably find that on a bigger scale somewhere else. That's the cool thing about Toronto, right? It really does inspire you, and you learn a lot about each other's cultures and so I think we start from there and just book the ticket, just go. Yeah, exactly. Just don't think about it. Yeah.
What would be like the next nationality or culture that you'd want to immerse yourself inside
That's a good question. There's honestly everywhere. Like, I would just feel like my...
Everywhere's great, but you have to choose one.
Let's
You have to
see.
choose one.
Well, I would like to experience more of the culture. I would say, I want to go to, like, Berlin. That would be cool.
Yeah,
I think
Berlin,
that would be really cool. Yeah, that's, like, on my list. And, like, for the music aspects, I'd love to experience that as well. So that's definitely on my list, yeah.
Like, straight up just Berlin, or do you like to check more of Germany? Or
Yeah, the cool culture.
You're already there, right?
Yeah, just like a proper Euro trip, experience that. Like, they're just, I mean, honestly, there's so much, like, I would love to draw. I just like to spend a year traveling everywhere in the world.
Yeah,
yeah.
Maybe soon.
Yeah,
I feel that we're all extending our time off more and more as the days go by.
That's true. And if I start getting booked internationally, hey, putting out there.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be like, let's go.
Yeah, that helps you like travel too, right? So yeah.
The question now would be, how do you go approach somebody to get the label? Did you do it yourself, or did they contact you?
Yeah.
How was that situation?
That's a good question. I think it's doing research on, firstly, like, what sounds from the labels speak to you. What is kind of like your genres? Going from there, and then even labels maybe that you've been playing music from. Like, do research on the artists that you really like and that you play, and then find out labels, start reaching out to them. Usually it's label emails, but there is, like, label-based, for example, that you can actually find a list of the labels and stuff like that and reach out. And then being very genuine. I think that doing mass email sending and be like, hey, anyone that catches this is not going to work, because labels, you know, you're dedicating your sound to them, and it should be a legitimate experience. So I think that takes a lot of research, firstly, and then it follows from there. I feel like once you kind of have an idea of who you want to work with, then you'll find more labels that speak to you as well.
It's kind of interesting how you said that you can just send a mass email kind of
Yeah,
thing, right?
Don't do that.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
Hey, like, for some people, it's like, well, they want to get their music out there as soon as possible, but it definitely takes time. The music that I'm getting signed now, for the most part, I like actually produced it a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's been a long process, so you gotta, like, take your time, you know, do your research, and I think the right labels will speak to you, you know? Was
it like multiple times you had to speak to them about these certain songs for a whole year, or was it just because they took so long to answer?
That's a good question. Honestly, I started let's go back. Even thinking about saying music labels was kind of like a hill for me, because I didn't think I was ready, right? So I didn't really think and feel comfortable to do it until maybe the early of this year. So I decided, like, you know, it's a goal. And so I started setting up music, and it wasn't like a super long process for labels to get back to you for the most part. They know, they listen to your music, and they'll get back to you if they like it. If they don't, you know, or they'll give you feedback. And that's the great thing. Some labels will give you constructive feedback. Yes, we like this. It's not for me. Or, you know, like, try again. You know, there's always that kind of that communication that you can get from them. So it helps you zone in and know, hey, this is where I'll go with this. But in terms of the process, it takes a bit of time. But I would say that you shouldn't just, like, stop and wait. You should continue to create. Just continue going the process. Even if you don't get signed, you know, self-sign. You can also do that. It's a little bit of a different process, but getting your music out there, I think, is the most important thing for people to hear it, because, you know, don't just have it staying there in your, you know, your SoundCloud and never actually put it out there. You know, it's good to get it out there regardless.
Is it, it sounds like those words translate a lot with other things in general. Yeah. Like, let's say art, let's say cooking. Oh, things like that, just being consistent, essentially. Oh, yeah. And because all of that is all the same, have you ever thought about doing something that was not DJing?
Oh, yeah. I'm a creative, my soul. So I've done quite a few things painting-wise. I was into that. I still will pick it up, but it's not my expression at the moment. I used to do flow arts. I don't know if you know, like, the idea of hooping. Like, you might see them at... Okay. You saw them at Shambhala. Yeah. That, like, those cool hooping people. Yeah, I did that for a bit. That was really cool self-expression, and you meet a lot of cool people in the community. I mean, like I said, I still have my hoops. I don't know per se you'll see me hooping in festivals these days, but, like, I go through phases of creative expression because I feel like on my soul, I am a creative, and I try to find things that let me express that.
As a raver, is there, like, other ways to express yourself?
Oh, yeah. Dancing is dancing is huge, right?
Yeah, that's the number one. That's 100% the number one. Like, especially for me as the person that likes to dance.
You're like dancing.
People always see me like.
Yeah, I've seen you dancing.
Exactly. I just know that if it's the energy's there, then I'll put my energy.
Yeah, it's a very powerful energy movement to dance. It's healing. It really helps you get in touch with the music, and I think that's amazing. And you have people like shufflers, and sometimes I just like watching people dance and like express themselves. But sometimes it's nice just to close your eyes, immerse yourself, and express yourself through music as well.
Totally understand. Yeah. In other words, then you just need to make sure that you stay consistent. You need to make sure that you have your own way to do things and to be yourself.
Definitely.
And also, for sure, have a community. And I think those are the three things you say could be like a pinnacle of joining or being a part of this rave community.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing, I think majority of people are accepting. You know, it's never too late to say, I want to get into the scene and start, going to these events, because it could be just one artist that changes your whole view of things. You're like, wow, I listened to the song and I want to hear it live. Or, it's like, maybe a friend is like, hey, let's go to this event, and then you get to go in there, and that's it. It changes your whole life, and you just fall in love with it. It's so cool.
Like, I'll do it.
Yeah, everyone has their own story, I guess, getting into it, right? Which is really cool as well.
So then my question, lastly, I guess you could say is, what is, if you can say it in a sentence or two sentences, what is your story? Like, who is?
That's a good question. Oh, gosh. My story is love and expression through music. That's like the core of it. Yeah. So then that's all we need. That's what we're hearing the moment we hear that music. Yeah, that's the core. It's embodying myself and expression. Yeah. Like a love story. Yeah. but you also want to do this. Yeah. Well then, children, I think we had enough. I think we had enough chatting when it came to the whole adventure that we had today. Amazing. And I'm sure we'll come again to see each other in another event. Yeah. Or like if you ever want me back, hey, like invite me back. We'll see where I'm at, because I feel like it's always a journey. It's always different milestones and stuff like that. Yeah, so, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, buddy, I know for sure I already said that I'm gonna be calling back a lot of people, because it's cool to see what's happened since we were at the one point we were at. That's cool. I like now. That. Where are they now? Yeah, exactly. Where are they now? She's in Detroit now. Yeah, yeah. Hey, everybody. I'm happy that we're at the end of the show. However, you can check this lady out on all the social medias. I'll put it all in the information. I'll put it all in the description. As well as check out our channel. Check out all the things that we do. And always remember, the more that you watch, the more I can produce. The more I can produce, the more great people we can have online. The more great people we can have. Eventually, we're going to have DJ Seinfeld on this. Ooh. Yeah. I think that's good. That's that your favorite DJ? I love lo-fi house. Oh, like, yeah. Lo-fi is like my bread and butter, basically. It's good. It's a very much a vibe. It's very relaxing and soothing. I love it. Yeah. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. The like button and the thanks button. They're kind of like their brothers now. It helps the channel grow. And the channel growing means more faces that you love.